Good afternoon, Quadcopter 101 here, and I have another airplane for you today. This is the FX808. This is a neat little airplane, biplane actually. Recently I did a review of another biplane, the TransJoy 6211, and I really like that. I think I might even like this one even better. We'll see here shortly. The FX808 is, if you can look at it, it is a biplane with painted in red with the Iron Cross on each wing. I suppose they're trying to give you a Red Baron type of look here with this little biplane, and it does look pretty cool, but it feels well made. Difference between this and the TransJoy, this one actually has LED lights near the belly here for night flying. It also has landing gear, which the TransJoy did not have. The wings are shaped a little bit differently. The TransJoy has swept wings. This one here has front straight wings, and the tail of the FX808 seems to be larger surface area, so I don't know how that affects the flight time or the flight performance of this airplane. We will find out here shortly. The transmitter for this is the same, seems to be similar to the other FX800 series. It includes a charging port, which I'll try to demonstrate here too today. After I run out of flight time, I'll give it a charge and send it back up again. Additionally, this is the throttle control. This is the yaw control, and as with the other FX800 series, to turn this airplane when you apply yaw, it does it through differential thrust on the motors. If I'm turning left, this motor will be providing more thrust to push it left, and if I'm turning right, this motor will provide more thrust to push it right. And there is a trim dial right here to trim that up. If the thrust is a little bit off, you can trim that up to straighten it out. So overall, that's the rundown of the FX808. Let's give it a flight and see how it performs. Hope you enjoy this flight. Okay, to turn this airplane on, there it is. There's the charging port. The charging port for this is a little circular port, not your average charging port for these little airplanes. This one has a circular plug in it, but the on-off switch is right above it, and we will turn it on. And at the same time, I'm turning on the transmitter. And see if we got a bind. So you got to do an up-down, just like you do with a quadcopter to bind this, an up-down on the throttle. We have a little bit 3-knot wind today, and it's coming from my car over there, so we're going to start off by pointing in that direction and going for a flight. And I can see right now, I need to trim it to the left and get it out of the sun. Okay, does this fly like the TransJoy? Oh my, kind of like it, yeah. Let's bring it in closer to show you that. It's a little bit nose heavy. I'm going to put some putty on this. Hold on. And I'll show you what I mean by that, by putty. Okay, gliding it in. It glides very nicely, by the way. But what I got in my pocket is a little lump of mounting putty. And this is mounting putty. You use it, it looks like chewing gum, and you use it mainly to mount posters on your wall. I'm going to take off a piece of it and put it right over the front end of the nose and mold it on there. That should be just about enough, I think. This is a trick, good trick to know if you're flying airplanes. You got to balance the dang things. Let's see if we're somewhat balanced. That's better than before. So this should fly a little bit better. That mounting putty sticks on there very nicely, but it doesn't leave a mark, and it comes off easily too. So pointing it back in this direction again. Much better flyer now. How about if I get into trouble? Cutting off the throttle, good glider too. Okay, let's bring it in close. This is supposed to be a close-in flyer, so I'm going to turn it toward me here. I come over here too. Now what was neat about the TransJoy was how it could maneuver. Let's take it up high. This supposedly has good range, but you folks want to see it. There's a little Red Baron up there flying around. Let me get a feel for this thing. It's a nice flyer, especially with that putty on it. Very simple to do, folks. Just put some wall mounting putty on it. I better come down here close so you can see this. I want to do some close-in flying because these, you don't need a lot of space to fly these biplanes. These little FX and the Transjoy, they fly very well in small areas. Let me take it upwind a bit too here. See, I'm flying into the wind right now. Okay, I'm going to go upwind a bit. Now increasing throttle. Neat little airplanes. FX808, the whole series I like actually. Red Baron now. We're on 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 or more. The bloody Red Baron was running up the score. Many men died trying to end the spree of the bloody Red Baron of Germany. I just dated myself very badly. It's a good flyer though, folks. Sorry for the singing. I'm just having fun with it. You know what would be cool? Is to put this against the Transjoy and dogfight it against the Transjoy 6211. Gliding it, gliding it. Now, I'm not going to record this for the whole time period. The reason being, I got another video to do here today with some quadcopters. But I am going to run this airplane, until its battery dies to show you that you can recharge this in the field. And by doing such, you can keep flying this all day long with the controller here, this port and the controller. Oh, got wind picking up here. This is, again, is a low wind flyer, indoor flyer. It can go to about 3 to 4 mile per hour wind, and that wind is starting to pick up a little bit higher than that right now. I got a thermal going through here. I'm fighting it. Still going into it, but I think it's catching a thermal right now. This is definitely a thermal breeze. I got to keep. I'm going to cut off the throttle here, folks. Reason being, I want to bring it down lower. I don't want it flying away. Thermal breeze on my back right now. Getting it down a little lower. With the desert, as the sun heats up here in the ground in the desert, you get these bubbles of air that go up. Thermals. And they can be, as the bubbles of air go up, they suck in the air from the ground here. And you have to fight that. This can do it, but again, I'm cutting off the throttle again. Letting it glide. That wind's picking up even more. It's just hovering in midair here. Trying to get it back upwind again. You can do it. There you go. Fighting the wind. Going about 5 miles per hour now. But again, yeah, it's a low wind flyer. It's getting even stronger now. But that thermal should go away here shortly. Let me take it far upwind, see how far I can go upwind. And that way it'll give me some wiggle room to play around with it. But see how slow of a flyer it is. You know, great beginner's airplane because of its speed. It's really hard to mess this thing up. You know. Let's see how much range I can get. I'm getting out there. It's going into the wind. Okay, let's do some stunts. Great little biplane, kind of fun. But again, you know, I got to cut off my video here because I got to do some other flying and I got to save battery for my camera. But what we'll do right now is I'm going to cut off the video, but I'm going to continue flying this until its battery dies, and then I'll show you the recharging procedures for this and do another flight to show you that you can recharge this in the field to keep on flying. So let's take the 808 and recharge it. Hope you enjoyed this part of the flight of the little Red Baron here, 808. Now I'm just going to have some stunts with it first before I turn it off. Now this can't do loops. It's like the TransJoy. It just can't do it. But okay, I'm shutting it off the video right about here. Well, the thermal breezes are picking up here quite a bit here, but I'm going to show you how to recharge the 808 and the other 800 series. You simply, this comes with a wall charger or a USB charger, I'm sorry, that you could use with a wall charger or with your computer or with this controller. The way to do it is you insert the plug into the controller, turn the controller on, and you will notice that the red light come on to indicate power is going to the plug. And you simply plug it in to your airplane, into its charging port, and just come back in about 10 minutes, and that 10 minutes will give you about 5 minutes of flight time. Full charge will be about 20 minutes. While that's charging, I'm going to go fly another quadcopter here, but we'll come back later and see how it does. Right now it is about 24 minutes after the hour, and we'll see how much, I'll note the time when I come back and see how much flight time it gives us. Okay, it's 48 minutes past the hour, so we've been charging over about 24 minutes. So let's see if we're charged yet. Actually, the light on the charger is out, so the quadcopter should be fully charged. The light on the USB charger. So it does charge in about 20 minutes as advertised. Fully charge it, and we should be good to go actually for another at least 10 minutes of flight. So I still got a breeze out here today. I am going to turn on the airplane. We're going to try to fight that breeze for the remainder of the battery power in my camera. Hope you enjoy this flight. Binding it. We're good to go. So again, you know, you can keep flying all day long with this little airplane, depending on the weather. That's pretty cool, huh? Recharge in the field. Now, what did I do last flight? Oh, I took this thing out for over 100 meters. The range on this is spectacular, to tell you the truth, folks. Let me try to do that again. Oh no, I don't want to do that. You want to see this fly. So again, it's real windy here today, so I am fighting a breeze. Late afternoon thermals here. And there's a lip over here. If I can go over there, maybe I can catch them and get some altitude. See that lip in the gully there? If I can get it to go forward into that lip. I'm just up there lazily going back and forth in the sky. I'll show you what I'm doing, folks. It's very easy to fly this thing. But again, it's such a slow flyer. If there's no wind and you got a small backyard, or a backyard, you could probably fly it easily over your neighborhood and land it right back in your backyard again. It's so easy to fly, actually. But again, you should put a little bit of weight on it. Notice how it's climbing. It's catching that updraft from this lip here. And it's, you know, what is that called? Slope soaring or ridge soaring. See the lip? And it's just lifted it up higher and higher. But again, this thing has spectacular range, so I don't care. I'll let it go up high. I got control of it. And again, this is flying on the charge. I charged it in the field using the 6 AA batteries in this charger, which is pretty cool that you can do that. Good morning, Quadcopter 101, and then today I have another review of the FX808. Now, the other day I was flying it out in the wind. Actually, that was not a good idea if you want to really show what this could do. Today is a low wind day, very little wind, and because of that, I'm going to take off this putty that I put on the nose to weigh it down. And the reason being, I want to demonstrate the maneuverability of these little FX airplanes, particularly on low wind days. Now, this one here really is intended for maneuverability in small area flying. I'm going to bind it right now. This is the FX808 again. And again, you bind it by doing it up and down, just like with the quadcopter. Now, I don't have the weight on the nose of this today. So I'm hoping to show that it's maneuverable because of that. And yes, it is. That's the idea, folks. This airplane can fly figure eights in small areas. Cutting back on the throttle. You just cut back on the throttle if you want to go forward, and then go into maneuverability. Give it a little throttle, and it can do this. Just like the Red Baron, and going against Snoopy and his Sopwith Camel. Pretty cool, huh? And again, that's with this is the way it is stock, okay? Without that weight in the front of it that I put on it, it is this maneuverable. And again, it's intended probably for flying indoors or in small backyards. I can see the lights on that thing. You can fly this at night too, I guess, in your neighborhood. Okay, a little breeze coming from the right. Let's zip tail into it. Cutting back on the throttle. We'll straighten it out a bit, as you can see here. But going into increasing throttle causes it to get the phugoid oscillations, but it also helps with these turns, these hard turns that it can make. Cutting back on the throttle to level it off. Cutting back even more. Taking it upwind. The wind is that direction. There is a little wind. And then going back in again, full throttle. Not full throttle, about half throttle, as you can see here. But very maneuverable little plane, huh? Cool. Cutting back on the throttle. Going upwind again. Increasing throttle. A Red Baron versus Snoopy. Yeah, that song I was singing the other day, that was from the Royal Guardsmen back in the 60s. I remember when I was a kid listening to that song. So yeah, fun little flyer, fun little park flyer, fun little backyard flyer, actually. You can fly this in a backyard, as you can see here is what I'm doing. Keeping it real close. Fun, 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 fun. Just cut back on the throttle again when you want to go upwind. You give it too much throttle to do the phugoid oscillations, you know, going up and down like that. Okay. Let's put a weight back on the nose of that and see how it flies with on a low wind day with the weight on it now. Okay, that's without the weight. You find that piece of putty again. And again, this is just mounting putty again that you can buy at Walmart or just about anywhere. It's used mainly for mounting posters on your wall. For young folks, mounting posters on their dormitory walls, I guess, is the big sale for these. But it also works great for weighing down noses of airplanes. Oh, see? If you want to smooth out the flight of the plane, and there it does it. Now it's a nice smooth flyer with that weight on the nose, see? Entirely different flyers. The Red Baron Sopwith Camel. Actually, it flies great with that weight on the nose of it. Got back on the throttle a bit. Fun flyer, huh? And if you get into trouble, just let go of the sticks. It levels itself off nicely also. Yeah, this is a great park flyer. It just needs a little weight on the nose to smooth it out. And if you're in a very small area, just take off the weight. And you could do close-in loops and close-in rolls. But this one does rolls very well too, but you know, they're a little bit more longer or larger diameter rolls, circles. But it's a great flyer. The FX808. Just add a little weight to the nose. I like it. It's a fun plane. And again, that wall mounting putty is a few dollars at Walmart. Makes it, you know, if you're flying model airplanes, you want that stuff. It's good stuff for, specifically for this purpose. Let's see if we can do a stunt with this. I'm going to take it up a little bit higher and then do those hard rolls and then try to do a loop. See if I can do a loop. Full throttle, hard rolls, hard rolls. I'm going to come into the wind, straighten it out. No, it just doesn't have the oomph to go over and do a loop. It's just a little bit too slow for that. FX808. You can fly this in your backyard, folks. A backyard flyer. And it sounds like a jet. The Red Baron's plane. Actually, that's not the Red Baron's plane, but fun. Easy flyer. Great beginner's plane. The whole FX800 series are great beginner's planes. I recommend them all. Every one of them seems to be a blast. And those guys came out of nowhere. You know, they just started producing these little planes. I think they're going to be huge hits here. Really. It seems to do left or right turns a lot tighter than the left turns. The Baron's plane. Yeah, actually, I guess it's better with that body, or I keep saying body putty. I used to have an old Ford, folks, so you know I'm familiar with body putty. An old Ford Mustang too. Oh, and I'm from Pittsburgh, so that should be another hint that I'm familiar with how to do body repair. But anyways, this is mounting putty. Put mounting putty on the top or on the nose of your airplane if it's doing those gyrations, up and down gyrations. That means it's tail heavy. So you put a little weight on the nose to balance it out and make it a better flyer. Well, this thing will run a good 10 minutes here, and I got to do some other quadcopter reviews here, and I don't want to run out of power on my camera here. So I'm going to bring this in and cut it short, but it'll fly for a good 10 minutes. Let's see if I can catch it. Almost. So anyways, this is the FX808. Hope you enjoyed that flight. Quadcopter 101, signing out. Night flying with the FX808. Can it be done, especially in a small area like this? Hope you enjoy the flight. Well, yeah, it kind of can be done. You just gotta know which way it's moving. I don't feel comfortable doing it though, I'll tell you folks. Cutting back the throttle. I'm just seeing a flashing light up there is all I'm seeing. There we go. I don't recommend it. You have a hard time maintaining orientation on it, so it can be done, but it's very tricky. Okay, Quadcopter 101, signing out.